Hello, my name is Victor Mendez-Cross, and I'm a Field Applications Engineer with AVer. Today, I'm going to show you how to set up our MT300N tracking box with the Shure MXA 710 4-foot microarray. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to static the IP address of our MT300N as well as our MXA 710. Now, this is not required if you have a switch that is doling out IP addresses. Just please make sure that you keep a detailed log of what those IP addresses are, because in order for our tracking to work, we need to make sure the microphone and the MT300 are on the same subnet. Our MT300 defaults to an IP address of 192.168.1.168. And the Shure MXA 710 defaults to an IP address of 192.168.1.100. Once we have those IP addresses static, let's go ahead and take a look at our microphone. So when we first plug our microphone in, we're going to then go to Shure Designer and we're going to set up our room. I'm not going to go too much into this. I just wanted to point out that the MXA 710 4-foot microarray defaults to 5 audio channels, but you can up that up to 8 audio channels. So what we're going to do is we're going to go click our MXA 710 4-foot, drag it on. We're going to select how it's installed. In my case, I have it horizontally on the wall directly in front of me. We'll add that device. We'll click on coverage, and you'll see this room is not live, but we have 5 channels. If I wanted to add more, I would come over here to Properties, select Coverage, and add a channel all the way up to 8 channels. Now, before we move on to setting up our MT300N and our camera tracking, I want to say this first. Please make sure that you have your microphones as well as your conferencing audio set up before we move on to the MT300. What I mean by that is whenever you have your microphone set up, make sure that you click and drag these lobes wherever you need them to go, adjust their size, because how you have your microphone set up is going to influence your tracking. For example, if I have lobes that overlap, I might be sitting right in between those and triggering both. And if each lobe is recalling a different preset, we're going to get unwanted camera movement. So please make sure you have your microphone dialed in, and please always adhere to the best practices of the microphone manufacturer that you're using, in this case, Shure. Whenever we are going to static the IP address of our MXA, we want to static our control IP address. So on these microphones, we have a control network as well as audio network. For the purpose of tracking, we are simply looking at the control IP address. There is no networked audio going through the MT300, so we do not have to worry about our audio network. So let's make sure that the IP address that we're looking at is the control IP address. All right, once we have our configuration saved in Designer, we're going to want to come down to our IntelliMix and select Properties, and we want to disable this setting right here of Leave Last Mic On. Make sure that this is unchecked in order for your tracking to work as expected. All right, now that we have our microphone set up and our MT300 IP address static, let's go ahead and set these guys up. So what we're going to do, we're going to navigate to our MT300 web UI via the IP address. This is where we do the initial setup and configuration. Our first step is going to be our device list. This is where we are going to add our cameras as well as our microphone. So to add a device, simply come up to Add Device. If I want to add a camera, I just choose how I want that connected, whether I've connected it via IP, USB, or HDMI. There really is no one camera output that is better than the other. It really is just whatever is going to work for you in your room, your use case, and your environment. Once we have successfully added our cameras, we're going to add the microphone. So in this case, we're going to add our Shure MXA 710. So we would just come down and enter the IP address of that microphone. Once I've added that IP address, I'll just go ahead and give that microphone a name. So we can just call it MXA 710. Okay, now that we have successfully added our cameras and our microphones to our MT300, let's go down to our profiles page. So remember, on our profiles page, we get to create a group. Now a group is a pairing of one camera and one microphone. Remember that. We can pair multiple cameras to the same mic. Each one of those instances would then just have to be added as a separate group. So we're going to go ahead and give our group a name. We'll just call this tracking. And I get to select any of the cameras that I added on our previous list. I'm going to go ahead and select the one I'm using right now, my TR315. We're going to select our microphone. I'm going to select the MXA 710. And I'm going to select our microphone channels. So I left my MXA 710 at the default state, which is 5 lobes. So we're going to go ahead and select 8. You'll notice we don't go any lower than 8. So the MT300 is going to look at channels 1 through 5 and then ignore 6, 7, and 8 because they do not physically exist. So I'm going to go ahead and add a group. And there we go. So a couple things that you want to look for on this page. Right over here where we see mic, we've got this little LED. We want that LED to be solid green. It lets us know that the MT300 is communicating with the microphone on the network. Next, we'll see our little camera icon down here at the corner. We want this to be solid blue with a pulsating dot at the top of it. Now, what does that mean? If we come up here to our little question mark, select that, there's your cheat sheet. So blue with the pulsating dot, it means that the camera is sending data to the MT300. If we have any of these other colors, this little cheat sheet will give you the answer as to why. All right, now it is time to create camera presets to perfectly frame us up where we're speaking from in the room. So in order to do that, I'm gonna sit right in my chair. I'm facing the microphone, and you'll notice when I speak, channel 3 goes solid blue, and we get this waveform notification letting us know that the MT300 is detecting audio on channel 3 of our MXA. So in order to set a preset to frame me up on channel 3, I come over to my group, click on the menu, and click on Set Preset. So now you get this little preview down here at the bottom, and we get access to PTZ control as well as all of our presets. Remember, our cameras support up to 256 presets. So I like the way this is framing me up right now, so I don't want to adjust it any. I just want to save this to a camera preset. Let's just call it preset 60. So I'll click on 60 and hit save. So then I go back, and right now I'm going to assign preset 60 to channel 3. So now I'm going to repeat this process as I walk around my room, see which microphone lobes pick me up, create camera presets, and assign those to each channel. Okay, so I went ahead and created a couple more camera presets and assigned them to our different channels. So if you notice, right now we're seeing channel 3 that's picking me up, and the camera is at preset 60. But if I were to stand up and walk over here to the right and speak, you're going to see the camera pan over to preset 63, and channel 2 is what's picking me up on the mic. But if I were to walk across my room and begin speaking over here, you're going to see the camera pan over to preset 70. So this is how we are able to facilitate voice tracking and video switching on a one camera system utilizing the Shure MXA 710. Okay, so that concludes this tutorial on how to set up our MT300 with the MXA 710. If you would like to see some more in-depth videos on the MT300, please look in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a good day.